Welcome to Soul Rising. We're your hosts, Amy and Erin. We're two everyday mediums who are passionate about taking the woo-woo out of spirituality and bringing it down to earth. So put the kettle on, grab a chair, and join us. Hey everyone!
Welcome back to episode 54.
Four.
Okay. Yeah. Wow.
54. 54. Happy holidays. We're getting very close right now to Christmas,
I
which is really
know. It's
exciting.
just right around the corner
Um,
now.
right around the corner. I'm here today to talk about my favorite day of the whole year. And no, it's not Christmas. I love Christmas, and
Psych!
Christmas might be my second favorite day of the year. But my favorite day of the year actually is winter solstice.
I love it.
So it always has been my whole life.
Yes.
And like that, it's just always been. There's something about it. It feels magical to me. I don't know what it is. I have traditions around it, not in the traditional like Wiccan witchcraft way. I might incorporate that more of that into this year's winter solstice, but like I
Cool.
just do certain things. I always bake that day.
Yes.
And then I always take usually one child, sometimes if they all want to come, but normally there's just like one that wants to come with me. We go for a walk. And we leave at like 3:30 when it's like getting dark, right? And we walk around through the woods and through the neighborhood. We look at Christmas lights. We do it every single winter solstice. As long as I've been a mom, I've done that. And like,
Wow.
I don't know why. There's just something about that act.
That day too.
There's something that I intuitively feel like doing that, and I don't know what it is. I think I'm realizing I'm definitely reclaiming my witchy roots, and that's probably the most magical day when you think about
Yes,
witchcraft or
it's
Wicca.
true.
It's one of
Yes.
those really, really big days. So maybe that's why. But it was without that influence
Just
that I've
just
always
just like
just
your
naturally.
yeah.
Just naturally, it's my day. I don't know what it is. Interestingly enough, some things that I learned um when I was looking up a little bit of stuff for today. So
Yeah.
in the northern hemisphere, the winter solstice is usually the 21st or the 22nd
Okay.
of December, but on occasion it can happen as early as the 20th and as late as the 23rd. But it's usually around the 21st, 22nd. For most people, I think that we think of this as the first day of winter.
Yes.
Something I read in my research was that meteorologists usually think of December 1st as the beginning of winter, but universally, most of us think of
December, that
21st,
time.
22nd kind of date.
Yeah.
So even though we think of the winter solstice as a whole day, it's actually not a whole day, it's just a moment. So it's just a minute is the winter solstice.
What?
Yeah, it's not the whole day.
I
It's a
didn't know
moment.
that at all.
Yeah, so something I was reading, I can't remember the exact, it was something that I didn't write down, but it was 3 something. It was like 3:23 or 4:43 or like something
Yeah.
like that in the afternoon. And the reason I'm bringing that up is because that's the time I go for the walk.
That's
So I was like,
true. That's what you were just saying. Yeah. Wow.
yeah. So it's just that moment. It's like really not the whole day. It's the moment.
Were you like completely awestruck and like
Like,
flabbergasted when you saw
what?
that? Yeah.
Yes, I was actually.
Wow. That's really, really cool.
Definitely tapping into that magic there. So during the solstice, the Earth's axis is tilted at its furthest position from the sun. So in the northern hemisphere, which is where we are, the sky is at the lowest point in the sky, making it the shortest day of the year and the longest night.
Wow.
And after this day, the sun returns more steadily with each passing day. So it's thought of as the return of the light, which is a great time for setting intention.
Huh.
And the day is symbolic of rebirth.
Wow.
So I like that too, because like every day after that, we get like a little extra minute, right, of our daylight every single day.
Yes.
So I made note of this because 12/21 is also marks the start of Capricorn season, and we are two Capricorn hosts.
Oh yeah.
So this is like this first day of the solstice is when
Yeah.
we come back with the vengeance. So
it's our time now.
this is our time of year. And Capricorn is ruled by Saturn, and Saturn represents like wisdom, inner strength, tenacity, disciplines, boundaries, goals, structures. So these are kind of qualities that are ours for the taking during Capricorn season. I think we really see this a lot January 1st, right?
Yeah.
Which is Capricorn season. We're like about, like 10 days, 12 days into it at that point, and it's like, okay,
Yes.
it's go time. New
Go
year,
time.
new me. So that energy makes sense totally astrologically, and energetically. So the word solstice comes from the Latin sol, which is sun, and sistiere. Hopefully I'm not pronouncing that the wrong way. It looks like sister, but with an E on the end. And that means to not move. So winter
Right.
solstice means the sun is standing still in the winter,
Love that.
which I liked
That
as
pause.
well.
That pause.
The pause. So I'm going to
Yeah.
go to a website here, wiccaliving.com, and I'm going to read a little bit straight from the source. So, winter solstice is also called Yule, known as Yule. Got a deck here. We're going to pull at the end called Seasons of the Witch, the Yule Oracle. So Yule, themes for this time: rebirth, quiet introspection, new year, hope, setting intentions, and celebration of
Yes.
light.
Yeah.
Something that I see a lot of people doing, whether or not they like know like this symbolicism of what they're doing or not, is like having a campfire, winter solstice. Something that I want to incorporate more of. I think I might do that this year, which are kind of like warming yourself around the light. But you can also set your intentions,
Really
put
cool.
some paper in the fire, things that you're releasing or things that you're manifesting.
Yeah. I know we always usually do that fire. We do that around the holidays too. We light a fire when I'm at my
Yeah.
parents' place. Yeah.
Do you?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, in most traditions, Yule is the Sabbath that begins the Wiccan year. Okay, so it's kind of like the Wiccan New Year. This is the winter solstice, the shortest day and the longest day. The shortest day and longest night, I meant to say. So, although it's typically celebrated on December 21st, the exact moment of the solstice varies from year to year due to slight misalignment within the Gregorian calendar and the actual rate of the Earth's rotation.
Wow.
It's a fire festival. Look at that. Yule is a fire festival. It is a time of celebrating the return to light.
Wow.
I didn't even know that until this moment, because I actually haven't read this website beforehand. I was bringing it up, and I was
I
like,
just wanted
this
to
looks like a good one.
yeah. Wow. That's
So
really
this
cool.
Sabbath reminds us to have patience. The waning half of the year is over, and warmth, growth, and light will reign again, will come back. So it's like that. And it makes sense. Like the last episode, we talked about, a little bit about paranormal Santa and Christmas and archetypes and that kind of energy. And I guess it would make sense for that to be associated with this time of year, that celebration and the feasting that we do at Christmas.
Yes.
And that we're kind of celebrate. We've made it through the darkest time of the year.
Coming together, feasting, celebrating. Yeah.
Yeah, and all that celebratory energy and the giving and just the energy of what Christmas is all about. If you think about that being kind of like the Wiccan New Year, and we're talking about manifestation and all these things, right? Like how that really sets the stage for the beginning of the year.
Yes. Yeah.
Manifesting more of that, right?
Of that.
Yeah, the
Cool.
goodwill. So this has been observed for thousands of years, ever since human beings first observed the ever-changing patterns of sunrise and sunset over the course of the season. So the Romans, Greeks, and Persians all held festivals at this time.
Yeah.
Which celebrated the birth of one or more gods. You see this even with Christianity, right?
Yeah.
I won't get too much into all that right now, but in the Wiccan belief system, the god is reborn at Yule.
Yeah.
Having died at the previous Sabbath, with Halloween.
Yes.
At the end of October, the weak quality of sunlight during these still short days is symbolized by the god in his infancy, just born and needing sustenance before he can come back to his full power. Which I think is cool. Maybe that's why we do all the feasting and things too, like preparing for the
it's
new year.
Like we're about to step into our own power. It's a time to start new chapters, that growth. Cool.
Yeah, and then the goddess, who has been in her crone phase for the last few months, is now once again in her mother aspect, having just given birth to the god. She represents the earth remaining still and silent for a while, yet as she rests from her labor. So I love that too. The when we hibernate and we go in.
Mm-hmm.
I did want to quickly talk about. Let me just move this over here. Um, an ancient ritual that I had seen come up in my research. Um, Forgive me if I pronounce it wrong. Yalda, Yalda night. Ancient Iranians called this Yalda night to celebrate the longest and darkest night of the year. The ritual was one of protection.
Cool.
So there's a lot of stuff I
Yeah.
found where the ancients would have believed the winter solstice to kind of, because it's the longest night of the year, that all the evil spirits are out.
Yeah.
So yeah, so the ritual was they gathered together around the fire, feasting, those kind of things, to stay awake in order to protect themselves from the evil spirits that had lurked
Oh.
during the night.
Huh.
So this is why the gathering happened. This tradition remains in Iranian culture. Those celebrating Yelda night are encouraged to eat watermelon, pomegranate, nuts, and dried fruit because the red hues of the fruit are significant. They're significant as they're said to represent the dawn, the hues of dawn, and the glow of light. I thought that was cool.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I'll just read a little bit more, and then I want we can talk about personal like things and things
Yeah.
that come up, and just how we
How we
roll
do
on
it.
this
How we
podcast.
do.
Yeah, what we do. So this is a celebration of the renewal of life. But compared to the other Sabbats, it's a relatively quiet indoor holiday. Interestingly enough, I always feel the urge to go outside.
Mm.
Don't know why that is. I'm not afraid of the evil spirits that lurk. I
No,
guess
you're not afraid they're gonna come at you.
no, come on,
Around those
come
trees.
all the fae and the druids. I'm like, you want to come over for cookies? I
You're
just
like, you
made
shouldn't be out right now. Sorry. That's how I imagined a
the
evil
crone.
crone.
Look, the crone. Yeah. You think about like the evil what's in Snow White? The witch, the evil.
Yeah.
Mhm.
The witch. Yeah. Wasn't she just
That's the archetype of the crone, which we talked about a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, she
Yeah.
was.
And really, she's this wise woman. She's just been projected upon. So that she's like, okay, if I'm scary, I'll give you scary. I'm just projecting
You want
I'm
scary? I'll give you
I'll
scary.
give you right, because that archetype is just projecting back our belief system to us, right?
That's
Which
true.
is what we talked about last week too.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, so as a Yule ritual, many Wiccans decorate their altars. Altars, we did the episode on that a
Yes,
couple
yeah.
weeks ago too. They'll decorate them with evergreen branches. Bring the outdoor in is what I've seen. So like cedar, pine,
Yeah.
hemlock, spruce, holly, pine cones, other
Cool.
winter flora will come inside. Now, I did not research in my research. I did not spend any time. I'm gonna do it right now though, because I feel like
As
there's
to like
something there.
why we bring the nature stuff in? Why are they
Well, no, I
significant?
was actually going to where my mind was going was about mistletoe.
Oh, yeah, I wonder what the history
So
with
I'm
that
gonna
is.
look. Yeah. Um
It must be some tradition about, I don't know, people coming together. Man, I don't
right.
know. Like, if you were spotted under mistletoe, maybe it was like, oh, you're gonna get married now. I don't know. Or it was like said to be good luck. I don't know. About finding a partner.
I'm still looking. Most of the things I'm finding right now are shops that are offering mistletoe at like Wiccan
We don't
shops.
want
So I'm
that.
like looking for like give me mistletoe, mythology, and folklore,
Yeah,
the white
yeah,
book.
yeah.
Okay,
That's
let's
it.
see.
That sounds right.
Okay, so it's a parasitic plant that grows on various
Oh, I don't like
trees.
parasitic. I don't like that word.
I know. According to Peter Haining in the book Superstitious, the mistletoe was revered by the ancient Greeks as sacred, yet superstition has it that the reason why it is so lucky to be kissed under it is that the plant once offended the old gods, who therefore condemned it to have to look on while pretty girls were being kissed. Oh, it's like a punishment.
Oh,
Oh,
huh.
that's not what I
Leave it to the
expected.
Greeks.
Um, leave it to the Greeks. Isn't Alex Greek?
Yes.
Is that what you're saying now?
Yeah, yeah.
Funny. Oh, well, you just mentioned the druids. So here it says the ancient druids believed that mistletoe is an indicator of great sacredness. The
Yeah.
winter solstice, called Alban Arthan by the druids, was according to bardic tradition, the time when the chief druid would cut the sacred mistletoe from the oak. The mistletoe is cut using a golden sickle on the sixth night of the new moon after the winter solstice, a cloth held below the tree by other members of the order to catch the sprigs of mistletoe as they fell, as it was believed that it would have profaned the mistletoe to fall upon the ground. He would then divide the branches into many sprigs and distributed them to people who hung them over doorways as a protection against thunder, lightning, and other evils.
It's
The druids are
always about protecting against the
protection,
evil.
protection.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's probably why my mind was going to mistletoe and wanting to look up it. Okay, so the druids are thought to have believed that the berries of the mistletoe represented the sperm of the gods. Well,
Ah, yes. When I think of berries, I often think of sperm.
okay. Sprig and berries. We had to go there. When pressed, this is kind of like gross, but
You're
when
all welcome.
welcome. This is from the whitegoddess.co. Okay, so you can blame them.
All right,
When
white
a
goddess.
semen-like substance issues from the white berries, mistletoe was considered a magical aphrodisiac. Girls standing under a sprig of mistletoe were asked for a bit more than a kiss, it seems. LOL. Um, that's so funny. But yeah, there's a whole
That
bunch
could
of
mean
like
so many different things. A bit
so
more than a
many
kiss.
things. Right?
But like, how would that conversation go too? Like back then, if you were like, "Oh, I'm under the mistletoe. You know,
Right?
this is for Baden. I don't know, come to." Okay, can I? This is a very big sidebar. Can I tell you what I just learned too about like people in the when is this 19, I don't know, in the spiritual community, okay, when spiritualism was a thing and the Ouija boards were out and people were using them, sometimes it was used in like courtship, okay, because it was a
Okay.
way of like you'd have the board sitting on your knee, okay, and you would be facing, it was said that it was best to do the Ouija board between a man and a woman, okay.
Okay.
It's a little bit heteronormative, but here we go. And there's the Ouija board. It's placed on your knee, and people would use this as a way to court because your knees were slightly touching under the board.
Okay.
And then get this, it was
Are we gonna go
supernatural.
there?
We're gonna go there. It was so sorry. Cover your children's
Rated
ears.
PG
Yep.
13.
It was said that the board would rise.
Oh, of course the board would rise. Of course. That's some magic right there. Magic spells.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. It's so funny. It's so funny how much of our history is based on like perverse things.
Or like, well, because we could, we can't really do it, but here's the mistletoe that says maybe we could do
Right?
something a little bit more than a
Like a little
kiss.
tease. A little tease.
Little brushing of the boob, who knows,
I want to go back to this website for one more second. There
Sorry, you
is
guys.
a riddle at the end.
I
So it
really
says,
hope I'm not offending anybody.
I don't think so. I think our viewers are like used to us by now. A riddle. I lived my life between the worlds. Neither earth nor sky would call me child. The birds were my companions, the wind and rain my mentors. Daily I grew in power and strength till I snatched out of time by the trickster. The answer is mistletoe. Okay, I never would have got that ever, but I liked the between the worlds piece
Yes.
as it's kind of yeah. This is so funny. I'm just quickly going to read mistletoe folklore here. Mistletoe is a plant of peace, okay? If enemies met by chance beneath it in the forest, they laid down their arms and maintained a truce until the next day. This is thought to be the origin of the ancient custom of hanging a ball of mistletoe from the ceiling and exchanging kisses under it as a sign of friendship and goodwill. There's that word goodwill. We've talked about it multiple times with the archetype of Santa and the energy of Christmas. According to the Anglo-Saxons, kissing under the mistletoe is connected to the legend of Freya, goddess of love, beauty, and fertility. According to the legend, a man had to kiss any young girl who, without realizing it, found herself accidentally under a sprig of mistletoe hanging from the ceiling. Accidentally, sure. If a couple in love exchanges a kiss under the mistletoe, it is interpreted as a promise to marry, as well as prediction of happiness and long life. In France, the custom linked to mistletoe was reserved for New Year's Day. It is often associated with thunder and regarded as a protection against fire and lightning. It is interesting to note that mistletoe was excluded from church decorations, probably due to its connection with the Druids and its pagan and magical associations.
Yeah, this is everything. Yeah, that's, yeah.
This ancient ban on mistletoe is still widely observed even today. So that's interesting. I didn't know that.
I didn't know it's banned some places.
Didn't know, but I thought that was interesting. I'm glad my mind went to like, what's
What
history
is the history of mistletoe?
here?
I'm also just picturing somebody who really wants to get married to somebody, just like trapping them under the mistletoe and saying,
Right.
now we have to do it.
The mistletoe said so. This is what it means. We're now bound forever. Candles are paramount to the Sabbath, of course, with Yule traditions emphasizing the colors red, green, white, and gold. Images of the sun are also appropriate. Those lucky enough to have a fireplace can burn a sacred Yule log, but you don't need an actual hearth to brighten up your home with candles galore.
Hmm.
Interestingly enough, many traditions which are generally thought of as belonging to Christmas, including the Yule log, a decorated tree, wreaths, and even caroling, are actually rooted in pre-Christian pagan traditions. Of course, everything is. So
Everything.
it's quite likely that you've already been celebrating Yule for years with or without your knowledge.
Oh, yeah, 1000%. Yeah, yeah.
All
All
things
those
good.
traditions, right? That get just
Yeah.
stories and things get passed down, right? And
Mm,
different interpretations.
right. Yeah. I love it. So yeah, I just found it interesting. I did learn, that it's a moment. It's not really a full day, although
Is there like a specific moment? Did we talk about
I'm
when
gonna
that moment
let's Google
was?
that.
I'm curious if it's like, is it during the day? Is it like sunrise, sunset? Is it a specific? And I'm curious
So this
when.
gives the date for this year.
Yeah, I
Like
was gonna ask when it is this year too.
the first thing that comes up according to almanac.com is the first day of winter in the northern hemisphere is marked by the winter solstice, which occurs on Wednesday, December 21st, 2022 at 4:48 p.m. Eastern. So 4:48 this year.
4:48. Okay.
Yeah.
Ooh, I kind
Mark
of
your
like that.
calendar.
4:48.
4:48. So mark your calendars. I guess it can depend, because something else I read was a different time. It was like 3 something. So it might have been a
Depends
different
where you
time
are in
zone, right?
your,
Yeah,
yes.
it might have been a different time zone I was reading. Um excuse me, but it's very interesting that it marks that moment.
Hmm.
So
Yeah. And
this year I'm going to like intentionally spend that moment doing something. I hope
yes,
involves fire. Even if I
that'd be
can't
cool.
go out and like start a brush fire, like like a fire,
Hmm.
um,
Hmm.
burning a candle at that moment, setting the
What?
intention,
Yeah, just working with that element, right? It doesn't mean you
working with
have to
the
have a
elements of
bonfire
fire.
outside. Yeah,
Yes, right. Yeah, yeah. Excuse me. So I thought that was really cool. Um,
love that.
and it just kind of validated why I love winter
Why you
solstice
love
so
winter
much.
solstice?
It's just so steeped in history.
Yeah, and you said it's the 23rd of this
No,
year.
this year it's the
Oh,
21st.
21st. Sorry. Okay,
Wednesday the 21st at 4:48 p.m. Sorry, I've got
gotcha.
a tickle all of a sudden.
That's okay. Drink your water, girl.
Yeah. So
That's really cool, Amy. Thank you for sharing that.
you're welcome.
Going into that a
Yeah.
little
What
bit.
do you ever like? What do you think of? Like, does anything come to your mind, or what did you know previously about winter solstice? Like, is there
Uh,
anything?
I just knew it was associated with like pagan in the Druid. Like I knew it went um, all the way back to that time period. And I love, winter's like my year. I love winter. I
Yeah.
think we've talked about this before. Yeah. I just feels
Yeah.
like, I don't know, it's so cozy, it's warm and
Yeah.
lighting those fires. I'm a winter person. I don't
Me too.
I don't so
I'm
much
going
love the slush sometimes that comes with this Ontario weather, but um
the the energy of
the
that
energy.
time of year.
Yeah, that's what it is, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
For me too. Yeah, and it's lovely that we can embrace it. I know some people that do not like winter, but winter comes whether we like it or not. So maybe this is the year in which we just find the good in you can find the good in anything,
Anything.
right? So
Yeah. Maybe
yeah,
we're
what can we
reframing
find the
it
good?
for folks, you know?
Something that like I'm really into and I've always really been into it, and then and probably about 5 years ago I realized that there's an actual term for it. It's a whole like cultural kind of, I guess, ritualistic just way of being. Is called hygge, which is hygge.
Okay.
And hygge is the art of cozy living, and so in many especially like Nordic
Mm-hmm.
countries in the Northern Hemisphere, where you have a lot of
Wow.
dark and winter lasts a long time. They practice hygge, which is cozying their spaces and making life
I
cozy.
like that.
So, like candles and music and fairy lights and
Yeah, yeah,
warm
yes,
blankets
yes.
and just cozy. Like
Cozy.
that's me. Like that's always been me. Like I remember as a
Yeah.
little kid hanging fairy lights in my
Yes.
room and
Yes.
it's very cozy. Like I'm all about the hygge.
Oh yeah.
So that's just a way to embrace, okay, like we're going to have to live through this anyways. So like how do we make it better, a
Better
better
for us. Yeah, yeah,
experience
yeah.
for us, right?
Exactly.
And
Yeah.
so yeah,
Oh, I like
and
that.
that leads me to, I just pulled a card for us
Okay,
from the Seasons of the Witch Yule,
what do you got?
and we got this card which is merriment. Look at the candles on
Oh,
there,
oh yes. There we go. We've got that fire element.
the fire element. And let me go to the card in here,
God, I hope it
number
talks about
21.
mistletoe.
Pardon?
I said I hope it talks about mistletoe.
Oh my god, I would love it. I'm trying to see if there's mistletoe. There is greenery above and there's a red ribbon hanging, but I
I
can't
thought
see the
that it was,
mistletoe.
yeah, I thought it was mistletoe, but then when I looked at it again, it's just a ribbon above
Yeah, I
those
would love
three
that.
people with the candles on their heads.
Reminds me of
Sorry.
like the three wise men. There you go. But
Yeah.
there's some women in there. Of course there is. Keywords: happiness following your soul. What joy, what glee beams from the sounds of voices, uplifting the webs of sorrow. This makes me think. We just talked about hygge. Like,
Yeah.
how do we change the perspective? Glimmering as if there's no tomorrow. You never know what tomorrow holds. Our ancestors were very aware of the day to day dangers. A hunting
Hmm.
trip could go wrong, or a disease could wipe out an entire village.
Hmm.
Perhaps that is why celebrations were such grand affairs. They were
Oh,
reminders to enjoy life
yeah.
when you could.
Yeah.
What our ancestors didn't have are the opportunities we have today.
Yeah.
It's never been easier to seek higher education, start your own business, or move away to a faraway place. Imagine what our ancestors would have done if so many
Mm-hmm.
paths to success and joy were available to them. This card guides you to act on the things that bring you joy. Start a business if that aligns with your soul. It's interesting because you talked about Christmas. You're going to like really dive into your business a bit more, or switch careers, sign up for vocal training, or retire early to spend more time with your family. We know that these things
Wow.
aren't always possible to immediately do. Okay, like
Yeah.
we know
Yeah.
that you can't just up and retire, but it's
Yeah.
it's really about the intention of prioritizing what you want and
Mm-hmm.
then making a plan to allow more of that in, whether it's like giving up your job or not.
Yes.
Probably not the most responsible thing to do in this economy, but you can follow your dreams.
You
You
can
can
still
bring
follow your
in
dreams,
more
you
of
guys.
that.
Yeah.
That's right. Like Erin, you're still going to be doing your job, but you're going to just put a little bit of focus on your business because
Yeah.
that makes you happy to
Yes.
bring a little bit more of that
Exactly.
in. Yeah.
Yeah.
Merriment has come to you because your soul is yearning for more moments of happiness that you are not always getting in your current position. So,
I really, really
yeah,
like that. It's
the
exactly what we
intention.
talked about too. Feast, like getting together with people that we love, that we care about, right? Breaking bread, eating together, right? There's no better way than to like connect than food. Food is such a great tool to
Food.
do that. Yeah,
Yeah,
to bring people
food.
together.
And like if element goes back to that too, like we're cooking things,
Cooking.
we're roasting things, yeah.
Yes,
Fire is
exactly.
life. Fire is life. And a reminder of the warmth and the light,
Yeah,
that's returning, and we can bring more of that into our lives with different
yeah.
things like we've talked about,
Yeah,
candles
yeah, yeah,
and
yeah. I love that
salt
too.
lamps. And,
I've been
yeah,
feeling um like just on a personal level, I need some, I'm just gonna say a career change and in some
okay.
way, not totally, but I need a change.
Yeah.
And I kept hearing December. So we'll keep our fingers and toes crossed. Maybe something will come about in that time, but that card and maybe others will, it'll speak to others as well, but maybe some changes are going to come in December. So hopefully
Changes.
I'm going to
Yeah,
take
and
that.
we spent a lot of time in the last couple episodes talking about thought creating and manifestation and what magic really is like having the awareness of you being able to change your reality in some
Yeah.
way. And that is true.
Yes.
Like in the past, if you or I had not decided to follow the breadcrumbs from spirit, if we had not decided to put ourselves out there to launch our business, if we had not decided to
Mm-hmm.
show up and create this podcast, like this podcast would not
Mm-hmm.
be if we didn't
Yeah.
go, let's just do it, right? So it's like we don't have to flip the table of life, so to speak, and just kind of go, okay, I'm just going to completely start over. If that's what you're feeling nudged to do, and you can do it, but we don't need to be that dramatic
Yes.
sometimes in
Yeah.
order to bring change in.
Exactly.
It's interesting because one of the I think it was last week, it might have been the week before, the weeks are blending for me,
Yeah.
but with the daily tarot, I had guidance coming in about how important it is at this time, and I know that was a couple of weeks ago, but it doesn't matter, it carries into whenever you're
Mhm.
hearing
Mhm.
this,
Mhm.
um, to make your space more you,
Yeah.
right? Or
Yeah.
like, and it can be very simple, and it's something that I naturally do anyways. I'm somebody that like twice a year, it would be more often if our space was set up in a different way, like if we had more of an open concept in our home. But naturally I would change the furniture around probably 4 times a year, like
Mm.
if I had my way. And I do that. I didn't ever really pay attention to why I was doing that, but now I know it's an energy thing, and it's like
Yeah.
shifting something,
Yes.
right?
Yes. Yeah.
Changing
Absolutely.
something.
Feng
Like
shui,
shift.
right?
Yes, yeah. So it can be something simple like that, like moving your couch to a different angle. Maybe you're going to do that anyways because you're making room for the tree, right? But like, or maybe it's lighting that candle
Yeah.
that you've got hoarded away. I know for me, I've got like 50 Bath and Body Works
Decorating for
candles,
the
like,
season,
yeah, decorating,
right?
not putting stuff away for like someday or a special
Yes.
occasion. Every day is a special occasion. Today is a special occasion.
Very true. Very true. What a I
So
was well, that's a good note. I think if
that's a
anything to
good
end
note.
on.
Happy
Happy
holidays.
holidays.
Enjoy yourselves. I hope that this is a nice holiday season for you and that you feel loved and safe and warm and cozy and all the things.
Yes. Stay cozy.
Stay cozy. Huga,
Huga.
huga, huga. Okay. Thanks, Erin.
Thank you.
Thanks for listening.
Bye,
Okay,
everybody.
bye.
If you like what you're hearing, don't forget to give us a 5-star review on Apple Podcast and tune in each week as we dish on all things spiritual.
Don't forget to like, comment on what you would like to hear us talk about next, and subscribe.